Hi guys, Keegan here with Champion Helmets, and some of you have been wondering how the AGV Corsa R compares to the Shoei NX-R, so we've decided to put them both to test on the road. The Corsa R and the Shoei NX-R are both very popular helmets among sports riders, and they do on paper at least offer very similar specs. However, with the Corsa R costing around €750 at its recommended retail price, and the NX-R costing only €430 at its recommended price, it's understandable for people to wonder whether or not there is a performance difference on the road. So, we've given them both to our rider to put them to the test. If you want to see our dedicated review for either of these helmets, you can find those on our YouTube channel. Or, if you want to see any of our other riding tests where we compare different helmets, you can find those on our YouTube channel under our road test playlist. But before we get started, I am going to quickly walk you through the general features of both of these helmets. They do both come in 4 shell sizes. However, while the NX-R is made from fiberglass, the Corsa R's shell is made from a carbon fiber mix. They do both also offer similar weights, with the NX-R being slightly lighter at 1,350 grams compared to the Corsa R's 1,385 grams. They do both offer multiple points of ventilation on the front as well as exhaust points in the back, and both their visors have quick release mechanisms and are pinlock prepared with that pinlock included in the box. And finally, you will see they both offer very aerodynamic designs, perfect for sports riders riding in a tucked position. So, let's get to the riding. You'll notice that on the bike, we do have a couple of sensors monitoring our rider's helmet as well as the riding conditions. On the left, there is a white monitor keeping track of the internal temperature of the helmet, with that sensor placed in the helmet on top of our rider's head, allowing us to compare ventilation between the two helmets. In the middle on the top, we have a decibel meter to show the helmet's noise isolation, with that sensor placed between the liner and our rider's head. And on the right, you can see the wind speed, while in the middle on the dashboard, you'll find the speed and the outside temperature. So first up, we have the AGV Corsa R. The Corsa R has proved a popular helmet with sports riders and with those who like to take the occasional trip to the track, but don't want to have a dedicated racing helmet. Our rider found the Corsa R to be very comfortable in terms of its liner and weight, and they also found it to be aerodynamically stable, and they did comment that it was clear while they were riding that they were wearing a quality helmet. Data for this helmet was collected while traveling at an average speed of 130 km per hour down long stretches of highway, with the wind speed fluctuating between 120 to 125 km per hour, and with an outside temperature of 22 degrees Celsius, we gathered our data. The internal temperature of the Corsa R was equal to the temperature outside the helmet at 22 degrees Celsius, showing that the ventilation of the Corsa R is very strong. As for noise isolation, we registered the noise inside the helmet at about 105 decibels, which is pretty much average for a helmet in this category. Overall, a pretty good showing from the Corsa R. Given the features of the Corsa R and its performance in our road test, we rate it at 4 stars out of a possible 5, meaning it is a very good helmet. However, with each star from each category costing around €33 at the Corsa R's recommended retail price of €750, it is rather expensive compared to other helmets of similar quality. Now, moving on to the Shoei NX-R, the feedback from our rider for this helmet was very similar to that of the Corsa R. The helmet was very comfortable, light, and aerodynamic, and our rider once again said he could tell that he was wearing a high-quality helmet. He did note that he found the NX-R to be just a little bit quieter, and that it seemed to ventilate a little bit better than the Corsa. Let's see if the data backs up his statements. The test for the NX-R took place along the same stretch of highway at the same average speed of 130 km per hour, and conditions had changed slightly. While the wind speed continued to fluctuate between 120 and 125 km per hour, the temperature did rise to 24 degrees Celsius, so there is a slight difference between the two tests. Ventilation on the NX-R was slightly better than the Corsa R, with the internal temperature of the NX-R showing an average of 23 degrees Celsius, which is 1 degree lower than the outside temperature, showing strong ventilation. Noise isolation was also a slight improvement over the Corsa R, with the decibel meter registering about 103 decibels of sound, which is still a fairly average result. However, these results do confirm the information from our rider, preserving his integrity for our next batch of tests. Having seen its performance in the road test, and taking into account its other features, we give the NX-R a total of 4 stars out of 5. This puts it on the same level as the Corsa R, but with each star across the 6 categories costing only €18 at the NX-R's recommended retail price of €430, you are getting the same quality for less money. Now that we have seen both tests, it's time for us to compare the data. We have made this data very easy to read by providing a nice friendly graph. For temperature, both helmets performed about the same, and while there was a 1 degree difference between them, This difference is small, and we are confident in saying that their ventilation is about equal. As for noise isolation, the NXR did perform a little bit better, registering 103 decibels compared to the Corsa's 105, so not a huge difference, but enough of a difference for us to determine that the noise isolation in the NXR is just a little bit better. Now that you have seen both helmets perform on the road, please feel free to head on over to our website at championhelmets.com, where you can view the product page for both of these helmets and see what product bundles we have available. So there you have it. This has been our road test comparison of the AGV Corsa R and the Shoei NX-R. Both helmets did perform very well on the road, and they do both receive 4 stars from us. However, with the Shoei NX-R offering similar quality at a fraction of the price, I do feel compelled to throw my hat in its corner. Remember, if you do have any questions about either of these helmets, please leave them in the comments. And if you like this video and want to stay up to date on all the latest content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, my name's Keegan with Champion Helmets, and I hope to see you again soon.